our one of our puppies behind us, but that puppy is no longer with us. Actually, is gone and over the Rainbow Bridge and joined another puppy brother. We had her for many years, and one day she started just acting, sick and not sick, but just lethargic, right? And so we did what we could, and finally we took her to the vet and said, what's up? And they looked inside and finally did an exploratory operation and saw that she had somehow eaten a plastic bag, like dogs do. I mean, I don't know if there was food in it or whatever, but it had gotten tangled up in her intestines and had blocked a bit of it, and there's a lot of necrosis and so forth, and so they recommended that she be put down. It couldn't really be fixed. So we lost her with sadness, but she was always a fun and mischievous little companion. She was a beagle basset mix, so she had the coloring of a beagle and the length and disposition of a basset hound and the long droopy ears also. Anyway, so that's my thought about my background today. But today we're going to talk about regular growth. Growth is something we all seek. We seek personal growth, we seek financial growth, we seek business growth, we seek relationship growth, we seek to serve our kids as they grow and people around us. Like growth is just part of the process. And it's funny because the picture there, her name's Popcorn, and that's because she had those black and white pictures. When we got her, I just thought she looked like a piece of burned popcorn. So we called her Popcorn or Poppy. Anyway, that grass right there is really short. And if I didn't take care of it in the summertime regularly, it grew fast and would get to be really long and shaggy. That's evidence of regular growth. So we're doing this series that's almost done now of the 5 colors of this wind horse. Now, this doesn't look like a horse, but it's a Tibetan wind horse is the piece of paper that I got with it, and it's the combination of 5 colors. Blue, white, red, green, and yellow. And it it's patterned after Tibetan prayer flags from Tibetan Buddhism, which I love many of those traditions, and those prayer flags are hung up high so that the wind would catch them and blow the blessings of those colors, blessings associated with those colors far and wide. One of the things I love about all of this stuff is the idea of sending loving kindness. So when I do my meditation in the morning and at night, I intentionally do that. And it used to seem weird to me, sending loving kindness. What am I going to do, beam something with my face? And it turns out that that's about right. Your heart yearns and sends forth the energy of loving kindness, love, growth, success, healing, forgiveness, all of the words that are associated with the 5 colors of this Tibetan wind horse. And so the idea of meditating and sending loving kindness is powerful and meaningful. I want you to maybe think about that, offering it to you as a possibility to think about. How much time in a given day or week do you spend just with the energy of your soul sending to a person or group or the world loving kindness, the yearning for peace, the plea to the divine to soften hearts and increase understanding? I do that a lot, and I know now with my own experience that it matters. I didn't used to know that. But it does. I also know from my learning that slowing down and doing things in a measured, considered way is more effective than hurrying up. I saw a post from a friend of mine that said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And it was a picture of him with his wife. And it was a beautiful picture. And I know both him and his wife, and it's a true thing for them. And it's true for my beloved companion, Joy. So today is the last of the words. And remember, think of those flags flying in the breeze. And the breeze is blowing these words everywhere, distributing the power of these words and the love and kindness and growth and encouragement to everywhere. So remember, the 5 colors are blue, white, red, yellow, or green and yellow. Now, the blue was first, and it represents sky, and that was healing, peace, and stability. If you haven't seen these, you might want to go back and watch them, not because, yay, watch my stuff, but because they might benefit you as you reflect on the power of these words. Healing is such an important notion, such an important truth. It's not a notion, a necessity, healing our spirits and healing our bodies. And maybe at this moment you have nothing to be healed of, but my guess is you do. I certainly have a few things. Peace is not just the absence of conflict, but it is a condition of the soul. And stability is something that is so lacking these days. So much changes so fast. There's nothing wrong with change, but much of the change comes from unsettling and disturbing events. Wars going on, famine, an earthquake. Those things just keep happening, and they're going to keep happening. And it disrupts our stability. And so one of the things I focus on every day is how to create stability and peace in my life, and it works, and it happens. So the next color was white, which is for air, and that was purity, clarity, and wisdom. Purity is such a word. It means what it sounds like. Purity, uncontaminated, single-minded, just pure. Clarity is something that I hear all the time from folks. I just don't have clarity about what I'm going to do, about my calling, about my gifts, about what I should do next. And I understand that feeling because I've lived there a lot, but I also know it's possible to create yourself so that you have clarity, and sometimes it's just the next step. So often we want clarity, which sort of implicitly includes a promise that we have a direct path from where we are to our goals, and I don't know that. I can't say that. There isn't a direct path. Path is going to be wherever it is. The clarity can be our commitment to follow it. And wisdom is that beautiful application of knowledge. The red color is power, strength, and good fortune. And I love those things, but they're your birthright. Your birthright. Now we come to green. And the first green one was what we did yesterday. And can't remember, harmony. That was it. Harmony, balance. We did those two the last couple days, and today is growth, which is why I talked about the grass growing. So what's going on in your life about growth? Is it going on at all? Are you growing bored? Are you growing powerful? Are you growing more wealthy? Are you growing more patient? Are you growing more impatient? The thing is we're always changing. And growth we sort of define as a positive change, and deterioration or atrophy or some of those other words is change in a negative direction. I want to encourage you today about growth. Growth is sometimes slow, like rings on a tree. During times of drought, the rings are really thin, and during times of plenty, lots of rain and nutrients, the rings are wider. Our growth is the same way. You're going to have times where you feel like you're stagnated, plateaued. Ask anyone who lifts weights or does bodybuilding. Ask anyone who learns an instrument. My piano journey over now 62 years, I think I started when I was about 5. I'm 67, going to be 68 in a couple months, has been full of plateaus and even, regression when I didn't practice regularly for some time. But what I know is growth is available all the time. So when I put my schedule back in order and I put myself on a regular time, even if I spend 30, 45, or 60 minutes in a day practicing the piano, technical things, drills, and songs that I want to know, then the growth starts again. And it doesn't matter if it's, done some backsliding. So let's talk about some growth that you want. Growth, fluttering off of that beautiful green flag, right? Harmony, balance, and growth are fluttering towards you right now on the breeze of possibility. Your possibility is infinite. Your possibility for growth is right in front of you. So if you want to grow right now, pick one thing you want to grow at. Most people, they have, a business or money or health, wealth, and relationships are the big three that always seem to be at the top of your list, at least one of them. What is yours? Is your health growing or shrinking? Growing or decaying? Is your wealth growing or decaying? Is your relationship growing or decaying? And most important, it's not in the health, wealth, relationship trio, is your happiness. Now, you may or may not control all the elements of your health. You know, I didn't ask to get necrotizing MRSA in my lungs in 2018, or at least I don't think I did, but I got it and I died. So my health suddenly deteriorated, cleared a flat line. My attitude about that whole experience has been good, positive, uplifting, and upbeat ever since that day. So, but I didn't control the action. What you and I control is where we are right this minute. No matter what happens, we fell off of, whatever. I fell off of healthy and boom, flatline. If you fell off of finances and something happens in the economy or, there's some big downturn, there you are. Growth is the description of the direction you're moving. Okay? And when externalities, knock you down to the ground, they do. Or below the ground, or when someone betrays you, or any of those kinds of things, those happen. But growth is a state of being. So one of the statements that I use to guide myself, and these statements that I talk about in these, they're part of a document called a personal truth and commitment. A personal truth and commitment is a personal constitution, a personal declaration, a personal manifesto. It's my contract with God about how I'm showing up in the world. One of the lines in there is, I am abundance and create infinite expansion. Now, as I'm creating infinite expansion, sometimes a nail goes in my balloon and it blows up. And wherever it lands, but I'm still then starting from that place and I'm creating infinite expansion. So my question for you is this. Do you know right now that you can grow? Health, wealth, relationships, happiness, do you realize you have that possibility? One of my favorite things to do is to get a chance to talk to someone, or actually listen mostly, just listen, and meet them exactly where they are. Where someone is right now might be struggling, might be full of stories, might be full of sorrow, might be full of, on the back end of a betrayal or a crash of some kind. And me saying to you, hey, you can grow, you may be just rebelling against that totally. So you are where you are right now. And I honor that, and I love you for even breathing still. Because sometimes we let events destroy us. Now, events can flatten us, and then we can choose to stay there for a minute, or a day, or a week, or a month, or however long. But because of our divine nature, there comes a moment when we feel this desire to grow, when we feel a desire to repair something or to plant something or to start something and grow towards a larger outcome. Sometimes a larger outcome is just our hearts growing, more expansive, more loving. I've had to do that. With the tumultuous past I have 10 kids, as you know. Some of my kids still don't talk to me right now. And I invite them and I love them and I'm willing and want to, but they're choosing not to do that right now. And that used to destroy me, but I worked on purpose to allow that path to be what it is and to be okay with that. When you and I have setbacks, we can allow them to ruin us or refine us. And we're allowed to stay in the, broken place as long as we want. But what I know for sure is that because of your divine nature, because of where you came from and I came from, we have a desire for growth. And the question is going to be when that yearning comes. Because it will come, and maybe you're feeling it right now. Are you going to do something with it, or are you going to let it sit? Are you going to act on it, or are you going to beat it back down? Are you going to say, I don't know exactly how this goes or where the trail leads, but I'm going on this journey. Growth is available. in any area of your life right now where you are. Now, my mission in helping 50 million people is to help those who are yearning, who are movement makers, who are visionaries, who are messengers, who are trying to grow. This is my mission, to help you create your life of purpose, prosperity, and joy. And so my road to 50 million is just about my journey to reach out and to help. 50 million was my goal, but that year ends in just a couple of weeks. Today's October 1st, so the 14th, less than 13 days from now, I start over. I can't wait. I'd love to have a conversation with you about your growth, about your business, about your life, about what you love and what you're up to in the world. Join me. I'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.